I wasn't expecting it. I sincerely was not expecting today's episode to be the season finale of Assistant Madams. But I guess with the feedbacks they've been getting and the comments and all of that, they just decided to wrap it up. Because ordinarily, it should probably have gotten to like maybe episode 11 or 12 or possibly even 13. Regardless, yeah, we were hit with the season finale today and I was like, oh wow. All right, so as usual, let's talk about it. Hey you, tell me you missed me, okay? Like, I appreciated everyone who sent in their videos for the reactions last week, and there were some who sent it in or who tried to send in their videos, but for whatever reason I didn't get them or there was nothing attached and all of that. I appreciate all of you, but I'm back. Did you miss me? I just want you to tell me you missed me, even if you didn't, just so my head can swell just a little bit. The girls are still being held hostage, and then the person that was holding them hostage comes around and says, oh, you know what, it's time to do the negotiation or whatever, I'll tell you what we want. And he goes on to say that they should transfer their money or the money they made from robbing people, that practically they went around robbing people, that so the money they made robbing people, they're going to send the money to him. And then Chioma went crazy, and all of them were crazy actually. They were all shouting, and then they carried Chioma out of the room. The moment they carried Chioma, I was like up to something. I became suspicious of Chioma and the whole setup. Like, why are we suddenly separating her from the other girls? And my suspicions were later confirmed. But because the girls were scared and, you know, they started panicking and all of that, they decided to do the transfers to the guy using the computer that was given to them. So Tamara and Lara sent in their money, and then they brought Chioma back and she had bruises all over her face, and she also did the transfer as well. After they did the transfer and it just apparently went through, I was like, you know, here we go again. It's not possible for you to send millions of naira, like tens of millions of naira, just like that, to do it as an electronic transfer, and your bank will just let it go through. They have a limit on how much you can transfer. Before you're even able to make that kind of transfer, you probably have to call the bank or even physically appear in the bank. So it's just happening so smoothly and easily like that once again. I was just like, okay. By the way, I didn't say this earlier because it just kept skipping my mind, but why did they have candles everywhere? Like, I thought about it and I was like, I don't understand. Why do you have, it's daylight, even if it's at night, you know, but candles? Like, and then they even had them on the stairs as the girls were running away. I was just like, oh. So after they did the transfer, they were able to convince one of the kidnappers, played by Ikechukwu, to let them go. Convinced, and then I was like, oh, okay, that was going to let them go. And then Tamara and Lara left first, and Chioma conveniently was third. So as they were trying to escape, they heard a gunshot, but they just kept running. So later they showed that Tamara got home just fine, and she was reflecting on how everything went, how she lost all that money, and then she started panicking, thinking that Chioma was dead. For whatever reason, they never went back to show Lara or show us if she got back home fine or whatever happened to her. We don't know. Meanwhile, Chioma was being escorted out of the kidnapping den. And then the kidnapper, the one that was wearing the suit, that guy from Unbroken, drove an SUV and he was like, oh, well done, boss. I was like, you don't mean it. I was like, I mean, I was surprised, you know, I didn't see it coming until they took Chioma away. That was when I started having my suspicions. But I really did not see it coming up until that point that Chioma was the brain behind everything. So that definitely was an interesting turn of events. And maybe all things being equal and or under different circumstances, that reveal, that big reveal of Chioma being the brain behind everything would have been explosive. But it was just like, oh my gosh, rather than, oh my gosh. So yeah, Chioma was the ultimate assistant madam, and she kind of waltzed off into the sunset, like, so that's how you do it, girls. Something, got in an helicopter and flew away out of our hearts and out of our screens. So in as much as that might have been the ending, it still left us with a lot of questions. Majorly, I think, because it was rushed and they just decided to cancel it, and also because the story just wasn't adding up. Okay, take for example, when Chioma was introduced to us, they made it seem like Chioma's choices or sudden choices were influenced because she was heartbroken by Daniel's character, Daniel from TMC, by his character. And so that's why she decided to become the girl that was going after men for their money or whatever. But then when you look at the Chioma that we see at the end of the season, it just doesn't add up. Like, okay, so why did she decide to go after these girls even after they all made that much money? Was it just because she's just a very greedy person? Why did she decide to now go after these girls and still go through the length of kidnapping them, getting their money from them, just so she could be the ultimate, like, oh, she's the brainiac? But it just doesn't add up to the initial character that we were introduced to. Even if she evolved along the way, we don't have a clear understanding of why she evolved the way she did. The finale even left us with more questions, because whatever happened to Kalu Ikeago's character, John Abi, that French guy, and the girl that her father was robbed with the will and everything, weren't they planning some sort of revenge or action against the girls? So what happened with that? Amongst other things that I just kind of left open-ended. But then again, it's a series, so in as much as we might not have those answers now, their answers will probably get if they decide to go ahead with a season 2. Now, talking about a season 2 of Assistant Madams, I would like to highlight the major problems that we had with the season 1, so that if they do decide to go ahead with a season 2, they don't end up repeating the same mistakes again. Number one issue we had with it was the storyline. It all just seemed unrealistic, far-fetched, unrelatable, in as much as it is fictitious, and they put that disclaimer at the beginning of every episode. It still doesn't mean we need to lose our sense of reasoning and our sense of relatability as people. Do you understand? One of the reasons why Skinny Girl in Transit is so successful is because people can relate with it. People find one way or another to connect with it. That was a big problem Assistant Madam had. From the monies the girls were calling, to how easily they were able to access the billionaires, to the little challenges they encountered, it all just seemed unrelatable and unrealistic. So that should be worked on. Number 2 was the storytelling. In as much as they were trying to make it suspenseful and keep the intrigue and do a big reveal at the end of the day, the story wasn't properly told. The method they decided to use to tell the story just did not work, and it left viewers more confused, and more irritated and annoyed than excited. It didn't give the same feeling as when you would probably watch Inception or Shutter Island or any of these crazy Leonardo DiCaprio movies. Do you understand? It's not that. It just had a lot of plot holes, even with the way it was being twisted. I just made it look like it wasn't adding up. Number 3 was the casting. The casting was terrible. Even if you're going to use day actors, you can't use people as long as they're going to have dialogue. You can't repeatedly use actors that just do not know how to act, or that don't fit the characters. Half or if not all of the billionaires did not look like billionaires, did not carry themselves like billionaires, did not speak like billionaires, you know. They did not, it was only John that held it down, and what's his name, Yemi Black. Oh, by the way, there was all that confusion about me saying that guy was Yomi Black. There are two Blacks, okay? There is Yemi Black and then there is Yomi Black. Yeah, so what I said in that reaction video was correct. Back to what I was saying. So the casting needs to be better. Of course, the ladies are good actresses, but like I always say, bad acting syndrome is when you have a good actor working with a bad actor. The bad actor will find a way to make the good actor look bad. And last but definitely not the least was the editing. The editing just did not do it for me at all. Again, there were a few places where the transitions were interesting, but there was use of flashbacks where it was not necessary. The suspense was being revealed in places where we didn't particularly feel it. So it's very stressful and frustrating in situations where you're spending your time and data to watch something where you're consistently being fed with what is not up to par, especially when it comes from a major production outfit such as Red TV. But overall, I mean, congratulations to them. Hey, you know, you gave it a shot, it didn't work, you do another one, we'll be right here to watch it. Okay, we ain't going nowhere. I mean, even with all the negative feedbacks, they were still racking in hundreds of thousands of views, you know, per episode. So that's still something to keep in mind. But regardless, they are working on a brand new season of The Men's Club. Yep, they've started shooting The Men's Club. Aminu Garba is coming back with the entire crew. So that's exciting. That's something to look forward to. Hopefully, it is something we get this year to make us forget all about assistant madams. But what do you guys think of the entire season? Are you happy it's over? Are you sad? What do we do now? And congratulations to the entire cast and crew of the team of assistant madams. You know, we'll do this one, we'll try it again. That's what being creative is all about. I know. So thank you guys so much for watching. I love you so much. Please subscribe to the channel if you aren't. Check out my other channel if you're interested in that. And I will see you again very, very soon. Remain in God and God bless you. Mwah. Bye.